September has been an easier month for all of us with some nice regular rainfall. At long last we've enjoyed some sleeping weather with nighttime temperatures approaching the normal range. We've even had a few chilly nights to remind us that the passing of the equinox portends a new season. The fall crops have managed to get a good start, some with the aid of irrigation and some with the pure benefit of rainfall. The first patch of winter rye cover crop has made a good start between the carrots and High Tunnel 1. In this area I expect the rye to hold a good bit of snow downwind of the tunnels and act as a bank for any late season moisture we may be blessed with. High Tunnel 1 shows good germination on two of the three beds of winter spinach. The peppers that have occupied the other two beds in here are still going strong. It can be a bit of a logistical puzzle as we transition out of a heat-loving crop like peppers into a crop like spinach that needs cold temperatures. High tunnels 2 and 3 are still pumping out tomatoes. The basil companion plants have been removed and the late lettuce successions are getting transplanted as the bed shoulders get cleaned up. The abundance of floral material in these houses will continue to hold the interest of pollinator and predator bugs. Since the tunnels are getting shut on cold nights, these structures actually extend the season inside for those beneficial insects. With adequate nesting and egg-laying sites, they are essentially preloaded with beneficials for the following season. Outside in Field 2, the scene is a lot darker, and the main season tomatoes are on their last legs. While we could have sprayed with organically approved copper to disrupt or prevent the spread of these fungal diseases, every gram of copper that was sprayed on the plants would eventually accumulate in our soil. Since we are actively encouraging increased fungal activity in those soils, we have decided not to add a persistent toxic mineral into the mix. Further out in Field 2 are three beds getting solarized after a weedy season. Please note the use of aged wood chips to seal the strip of old greenhouse plastic. Under our new field layout, those chips will form the base layer of the new paths, and they become a valuable addition to the fungal life in our soil. We managed to get the winter squash and pumpkins harvested just before the cooler nighttime temperatures arrived. We will need a volunteer crew to clear off the vines and roll up the occultation strips, and here's what it looked like once the occultation strips were removed. Thanks to all the volunteers that helped with that big job. Here's a quick peek at a bed that was seeded with a cover crop cocktail in late August. The oats, field peas, and daikon radish growing here will reinforce the diversity of root types within our soils. I'm happy to report that one of our problem areas from last year has finally been able to support a smother crop of buckwheat. At a time of year when many of our pollen-producing plants have switched to producing viable seed for next season, this patch of white blooms is a welcome feeding station for a wide selection of beneficial insects. The two beds of white clover that were seeded beneath some underperforming eggplant are beginning to show strong growth under full sun. A few fall mowings will encourage the clover to spread vigorously. A similar clover sowing under the sweet peppers will just have to wait for a killing frost to get its turn in the sun. Bed cleanup and prep continue apace as each crop gets harvested. On a beautiful fall day like this, it is hard to believe that we are running out of enough solar energy for good plant growth. But the sun's increasingly southern path will see more and more energy absorbed by our atmosphere. Both the shortening daylight hours and the changing spectrum of light that reaches our latitude are signaling the change of season. The flower cutting garden in front of the upper pollinator meadow provides some splashes of color before the trees finally begin to change color. The last few lettuce successions are getting hardened off outside the propagation house before they are tucked into the open beds in the high tunnels. With about 45 days left in the growing season, We might have a lettuce harvest almost all the way to Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. Leave comments and questions below. Catch you next time.